Y'all, I know it hurts to see our loved ones go through, right? You know, because we so used to coming to their rescue. We so used to getting them out of trouble. We so used to bailing them out. We so used to dropping everything and going to see about them. Well, sometimes we got to let them learn on their own. We got to let them learn on their own. I'm telling you, man, the Lord had put this in my heart. I don't know who this is for, how it's going to bless you as a parent, or, just being that go to person. We feel obligated. We feel like we got to be there. We feel like, man, if I don't do it, then who gonna do it for them type thing. If I don't get them out, who can get them out? Y'all, sometimes we gotta let them sit there. I'm serious. We gotta let them sit there. The Lord took me back to the prodigal son. You know, the daddy he didn't want to give his son his inheritance because he knew what was gonna happen. He knew the world was gonna chew him up and spit him out like a rag doll. He knew, like, the world is wicked. His son wasn't quite ready for that. But in the end, he still gave his son what he asked for, his inheritance. But he prayed for him too. Prayed for him. His son came back home. He was broken, battered, had nothing, but he still had his life. He still had a praise. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes, man, these experiences that God allow is actually sent to help humble them, to teach them a lesson, to bring them back to God. Because every time we go and be God in their life, y'all know what I mean. Somebody know what I'm talking about. Every time we go to be God in their life or to come to their rescue or get them out of trouble, okay, so what room does that leave God to be God if we are trying to be God in their life? I hope this making sense to somebody. I mean, really, we pray and ask God to change their mind, to change their heart. But if we always there when they call us, we always there when they get in some mess, we always get them out and get them out. That makes them dependent upon us rather than God, y'all. I don't know who this gonna bless or how it's gonna bless you, but you gonna know. Yeah, man, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna be some tears behind that. You gonna feel like a failure as a parent. You gonna feel like a bad friend. You gonna feel horrible for not coming through. But man, how are you helping them? Huh? By always rescuing them. How are they really learning? Think about it. How they gonna learn if they could always depend on you to be there? It's gonna come a point in time you ain't gonna be able to be there. Okay? It's gonna come a point in time you can't get them out of that mess. You gotta hold them accountable. Sometimes you gotta let them fall. Remember that movie, Ray Charles? Whenever he fell in that kitchen and his mama wanted to run to his rescue to pick him up out the kitchen, but she stopped in her track. She was like, and I'm sure she was thinking like, man, if I keep on helping him, he ain't never figure it out. Remember whenever Ray touched that stove and she was like, she was like panicking or whatever. But when he fell down, it taught him a lesson to be independent. It taught him a lesson to, it's teaching us whenever we fall to go before the Lord, not to depend on man, not to depend on our own strength, but it's teaching us to go within. If we keep on pretending to be God in their life, how are they going to know the way? Yes, you continue to pray for them. Yes, you continue to hold them accountable. But you just can't keep justifying their wrongdoings either. Okay? You got to hold them accountable. You got to. They're going to have to see what they're doing wrong. Because if you always coming in to correct, to fix, to get them out, to bail them out, or to support them in this way, how they going to learn to be independent? How they going to learn to stop making the same mistakes? Because they know that you always going to be there. I don't know who this going to bless, but listen, take it back to God. You're going to know. I know it hurts. I know that feeling, y'all. It's to save their soul. Them falls, it's to save their soul. So they can learn to grow. Take this word back to God in prayer. I love you, and God love you way more. Be blessed. Bye, y'all.